After the defeat in the Valley Pass, Dol Amroth sent word for reinforcements to Gondor. Unable to raise a full professional force to defeat the enemy, they quickly mustered what they had and sent it to their aid. With Sauron's host claiming victory and the path clear, he sent another horde to aid the advance towards Dol Amroth to ensure total destruction. Now rearmed and their injuries tended to, they march across the Anduin. If they are to succeed in crossing, they will have free reign to siege the capital of the principality. However, if they are forced back, Gondor will have plenty of time to muster a professional force to eventually aid in the siege of the Swan City. Hey, how's it going, guys? My name is Jackie Fish and welcome back once again to some more Total War Rise of Mordor. We are diving in with part 2 of this scenario battle series. Now, don't worry if you missed part 1, that is no problem. You can just watch this as if it's any other online battle. No need to fret whatsoever. However, in these scenario battles, it is really cool to go ahead and have this epic story tied to it, or results of every single battle carry on from one another. So, for example, in the previous battle, I guess pause now if you don't want spoilers from that one, and I guess the intro would have kind of spoiled that already. But yeah, unfortunately, Dol Amroth did lose that Valley Pass battle, and that has led to, you know, things happening, and it's kind of influenced how this battle is about to go down. So, for example, because Dol Amroth lost the previous battle, the evil men have had most of their forces replenished. So if they were above 50% men in the unit left over from the battle, that's been bumped up to 100, and they've also been granted some more money, which is obviously a massive help for them. In this battle, if Gondor is lost, so if Gondor are beaten in this battle, they will not be present in the next battle, which would obviously be catastrophic for the defenders. It's really important that they try and claim a victory here. As well as that, though, for example, if Dol Amroth do claim victory this day, they, however, will have a chance to push back the forces of Mordor back across the Anduin and gather up way more money and that professional force that we've been hearing about in the intro from Gondor. So there is actually quite a lot at stake in this engagement. It really is going to be important to defend the Anduin with everything they have. But you can see this is not going to be any easy battle. The forces of evil have plenty of men, over 10,000 of them on the battlefield, and a casual 8,500 over on the forces of good of Gondor and Dol Amroth. And it's kind of crazy that I feel like we glance over this quite often in these massive Rise of Mordor battles. You know, we do just say like, oh yeah, this is a casual 18,000 soldier battle, you know, whatever, nothing that insane. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how this battle does develop. Now, a few things before, again, we get started. One, I will leave a link to the people who play these scenario battles down below in the description. If you like the idea of these, you maybe want to be featured in a video going forward, then go check out their Discord. On top of that, unfortunately, Rise of Mordor did get DMCA'd over on ModDB, so they've had to remove that mod from ModDB. However, that doesn't mean that development on the mod is stopping. It doesn't mean that you won't be able to download the mod anymore. They just moved it over to Nexus page, which again, I'll leave a link to down below in the description. Really unfortunate that Warner Brothers did decide to DMCA them, but you know, it is what it is, I guess. But the mod is not stopping, which is obviously a brilliant news. Back to this battle, let's go ahead and make our way off of the slow-mo, and let's just get stuck in as evil charges forward. We've got Uruk Spearman on the front line, supported by some more Uruk Throng. That's going to be pretty scary. And Dol Amroth really have this kind of layered defense. I've got this outer perimeter on one side of the Anduin, and then obviously an inner defense back here on the other side, with a real big last stand past this camp, and then all the way back here they have a much larger reinforcing army of Gondor, which will be making their way in. However, you know, again, as we said, this isn't exactly a completely professional Gondorian army. We have, you know, a lot of these Gondorian spear militia, Gondorian normal militia, with a handful of elite units kind of scattered in this formation, as well as some Swan Knights as well. So we have some Princess Coast Guard, and obviously that Swan Knight unit I did just speak about. So there is some elite stuff in here, but it's going to be hard for them to really push back, and here we go. It's going to be up to the forces of evil to obviously inflict their pound of flesh as quickly as possible before Gondor can help reinforce, because if they can block off that side of the river, that is going to be absolutely crucial for their victory. And right now, both sides are facing off against one another. I don't think as well that this tower does, like, play a role. I don't think it does shoot any arrows or anything, so more so there for show. As the men of Dol Amroth hold firm. How are we looking on the other flanks as well? Yeah, again, just pushing closer and closer. The Eastlings on this flank, with more Uruks marching around. So I believe this is a 4 versus 3 as well. 4 attacking forces and 3 defending forces, which makes for a pretty even battle, I think, a lot of the time. Having a 4v3 generally does end up benefiting the attackers. Obviously, they have that entire extra player. But of course, in these scenario battles, the players aren't necessarily playing 100% super try-hard, which is always good to see. We have some cave trolls back here who seemingly have taken a little bit of damage already, it would seem. And we have the meaty Orokai as well. Again, we get a good angle of them. You can see them in all their glory, the Orokai. These units are not to be messed with. They just are so tanky. They take a lot to be brought down, which is always nice to have, and something that I think that, Mordor desperately needed. Here we go. The first engagement has now kicked off, with Archer Fire going over, and the men of Dol Amroth are fighting hard to hold this breach point. The Eastlings throwing their way forward, though, with mace, axe, and sword. A perfect unit to really deal with armored infantry. The arrow fire also coming in as well, attempting to hit these Pelagear Marines on the flank, who actually have a really nice setup right here, going directly in. Unfortunately, a lot of their javelins are actually, unfortunately, hitting this wooden post. The defenses are working against the defenders. However, a lot of them are also finding their mark, and you can see that damage coming in, even giving the Prince's Coast Guard and the Dol Amroth Spearmen time to outflank their opponents. The Archer Fire, though, heavily focused in. But as long as the Prince's Coast Guard can use most of their ammunition, which they pretty much have done, it's actually not a bad idea for them to keep on pushing. Again, over on this right-hand side as well, we are seeing some of the shock infantry actually sent in to try and destroy this. The Haradrim throwing forward their Serpent Warriors, who I imagine would do a pretty decent job. Dol Amroth haven't really committed the best infantry there. And yeah, you can see the Serpent Warriors really taking their pound of flesh. Over on this other side as well, some Orc Pillagers sent in against the ranks of Dol Amroth and their Spearmen. And honestly, you would think that the Orc Pillagers are a great unit to do this, but I've always found that, like, charging shock infantry head-on into Spearmen generally doesn't work as effectively as you want. I mean, we can take a look at the kind of kill count. Yeah, you can see, like, they've lost 13 men. The Orc Pillagers have lost, over 20. Obviously, they start off with more soldiers. But yeah, I always notice that charging them head-on doesn't really work. Obviously, you want to outflank them, but you would expect that they would do pretty decent in a scenario like this, just because, obviously they have armor piercing, which is great. They're kind of breaking down that shield and getting over the defense. But you're much better off trying to, like, engage with your own spears and then finding, like, that one point to break through with maybe a mass of shock infantry. Like, for example, there's a big old juicy gap here. I'm not sure if the players are choosing not to go through here because, again, it's a scenario battle. Players are a little bit more kind of like story driven. Obviously, they are playing as hard as possible. Oh, I didn't even notice this as well. Oh, this is awesome up here. We have some Orc Warriors set up here with a couple units of archers. Oh, really nice play here by the Black Serpent Rangers. I wonder if these guys Vanguard deployed up here. They have the perfect view of the entire battlefield. I mean, oh my god. Just look at that. That is epic. I mean, it's a shame that the Attila lighting is so bad. That is really, really cool. My god. Just being able to see the entire battlefield off on the distance. Very epic. I mean, they are being hammered as well, unfortunately, by some missile fire, and we're getting some troll movements as well. But yeah, really nice stuff here. That's going to definitely turn the tide of this battle in favor. You can see a lot of the soldiers actually being brought down by either javelins or arrow fire. But even with that missile support, you can see what I'm saying with the Orc Pillagers just not really kind of earning their keep against the Seaward Spear infantry, unfortunately. Absolutely love this position, though. I'm surprised maybe more infantry isn't being sent around here. This would be the perfect flank to get around and then start putting pressure, in the rear flank. And there we go. Gondor are now marching into position. And again, I'm curious to see exactly what they do as they march through the camps. Are they going to be planning to... Yeah, are they going to plan to maybe try and hold this side of the Anduin? Or are they marching across the position to reinforce their Dol Amroth allies? We are starting to see some soldiers being brought this side of the Anduin. And also a bridge or two has been destroyed along here. I like this as well. It's like they've blown the bridges so the Orcs will have a harder time. But it's not like the Orcs don't have, a lot of crossing right here. This is a very wide battlefield. But yeah, I think Dol Amroth are falling back now, realizing that all hope does seem to be lost, at least on this side. And they're going to try and reconsolidate with their allies. And as I said, remember, if they do lose this battle in the next one, which I assume if Dol Amroth do lose, will be the siege of the Swan City. They'll have a chance of winning the scenario right here. And Gondor won't be present either. Gondor will be off licking their wounds, rebuilding their armies. And I imagine as well that the Forces of Evil get even more money to invest in their trolls and other units. Yeah, this unit Spearman being absolutely slaughtered, and now the rest of the units can come in. Yeah, trolls being committed over here. That's enough to really send them packing. Cave trolls and the Olokai. As the trolls just run in. Look at them go. They just do not care whatsoever. Absolutely smashing what remains. And even this unit of Haven Guard as well. 200 kills on the unit of Haven Guard though. My god. Not enough though, unfortunately, being broken. We have one unit as well, the Knights of Imrahil. This is super expensive, but it's down to, oh my god, have they lost so many men? This unit of cavalry is like beyond expensive as well, by the way. And they've already lost almost half the unit. That is not good. And we're going to get this charge off, obviously, but they're charging into Orc Warriors, so, like, who cares? Who cares? And if the archers can keep on hitting them, that'd be great. Oh, but a mass cavalry charge here. Nice move here. This is going to be more than enough to kind of clear these guys up and deal with the Rangers, even though the Rangers have kind of, earned their keep in the battle so far, so not the end of the world. Another great charge into them. Yeah, I mean, the Knights of Imrahil, with all the extra other horses, more Swan Knights, or Lancers. Yeah, this will be enough to break this quite handily, which is good. Nice little cavalry charge out here. It does seem like the Swan Knights from Gondor and Dol Amroth are being sent forward to basically just try and disrupt this Orc advance. Try and slow it up so they can reform that formation the other side of the Anduin. And so far, it does seem like it's working. Gondor are pretty much in position now, and they are prepared to hold this camp. The remnants of Dol Amroth's kind of patrol force out here being forced back. Now, they will lose this capture point, but as long as they hold both, it's not the end of the world. I'm not sure if this gives any bonuses. I've been too busy playing Warhammer 3 recently, where you don't get that. Oh, and a nice little pursuit here by the Servants of the Eye. Gonna hopefully be able to get a rear charge onto this shock infantry. The water of the Anduin slowing them down massively. And the cavalry does come in. They are bringing themselves pretty close into that fire. And where are the princes now when you need them? Where is Arwen to call the great horses in to protect her people and her lands and throw the mouth of Sauron back into the abyss? So this is always going to be dangerous now. The fact that the cavalry are out here, they can really start to roam around. They can kind of just like scatter in this back ranks and look for anything that's out in the open. They can try and hit these generals if they're forgotten about, because in these big battles when you're commanding 18,000 men, you do end up losing your infantry. It's just, you can't micro everything. Even some of the best players always forget to micro, a unit or two. And the archer volleys continue to come in. I mean, honestly, I don't know who this is better with. It does seem like the Servants of the Eye have been able to severely hamper the shock infantry and break it, but they have also lost. Actually, I take that back. They definitely came out on top of that. Holy crap, 150 kills and barely any casualties. Oh, can they get a volley of the Pelagian Marines though? That should be nice. Okay, I mean, even still, Servants of the Eye, man, is so good. Mordor is a crazy good faction now with the trolls. They really are. They just bumped them up so nicely. They have amazing cavalry. Again, this cavalry is capped at 3, I believe. But now you can take a unit of Nazgul instead and then have 3 separate. It's just so good. So as we can see, the formations are set up. The Gondorians are ready to defend the Anduin with the support of their Dol Amroth allies. There's a little bit of a pursuit. These poor archers, run! Flee for your lives! Oh no, look at that! Just being smashed! Oh, that's unfortunate. And this is looking rough, honestly. I hate to say it, but this is looking rough. A lot of Gondorian militia here. That's not going to cut it. Like, these Gondorian spear militia, whew, I do not envy them. And there is a big advance coming forward. But sometimes, scenario battles are just going to be one-sided. Not saying that this battle is particularly one-sided, but sometimes they are just going to be that. And we have a big push right here. Spearmen coming up, and now the cavalry have to fight their way in, looking to charge in. But again, the Haradrim Lancers just pull back. Trolls being committed, more spearmen being committed. This is great. I mean, for the most part, the Haradrim Lancers are going to clash in. And this is, I think it's a good idea. You have troll support, you have spears coming in. And yes, you're not going to win this fight, but you're going to pin them down. And now they can't go anywhere. And as I said, you got the trolls coming around on both sides. Nice move here by the Dol Amroth infantry and cavalry to set themselves up. They obviously push this one to the side, and they're going to try and break these guys before the trolls and the spears can turn up. Getting a great charge here, right into their backs. This unit must be pretty tired. So, yeah, it is tired. That's why they're going so slowly. And this is a unit of Serpent Guard as well, so one of the higher tier Haradrim units. So if any unit is here to hold off long enough for the trolls to arrive, it's going to be the Serpent's Guard. As you can see over on this flank, the lighter Haradrim unit of cavalry is struggling way more. And they're only fighting, I think, squires of Dol Amroth, so... Oh, but look at that! The Olokai just turn up, and this is scary. I think trolls are amazing at killing cavalry, because they have that armor-piercing value. You can see the enemy cavalry running away. But unfortunately, they're running away, and all of a sudden you have all these spearmen. You have cavalry over on this side causing some issues, so some Dol Amroth horses moving in. But again, the Vagir Lancers, or the Vargai Lancers, charging them, pinning them down. As you run out of combat, you're going to be taking lots of damage. I think a lot of these horses are in a tricky position. And it wouldn't be a bad idea to send all your cavalry, send the rest of the Serpent's Guard over here, and anything else that you do have to bring to bear. Fighting in the woods now, this lone unit of Seaward Spearmen fighting across the Anduin, unable to make it back. Pinned in place. I'm surprised we're not seeing another unit of infantry being committed to deal with them, like we're seeing over here. The Uruk infantry committed against 2 units of Spear Militia. Yeah, nothing's happening here. I mean, this unit has actually got 36 kills somehow. It only lost 7 men. Maybe I've underrated Gondor Spear Militia all this time, and they're actually an absolutely monstrous unit. Who knows? Yeah, it's not looking good over here. The trolls now being committed in. Yeah, the trolls are really fast as well. They're speed 60 compared to the heavy armored cavalry that are speed 75. So the cavalry can outrun them, but once you're being pinned down by the rest of the cavalry, spears being committed in here, there's a really nice play by the attackers. Seizing that the cavalry had no way to escape, committing what they needed to do, and it was just, yeah, really effective to deal. And this is also the enemy general as well, so the Knights of Imrahil are going to go down. Yes, they're going to lose some cavalry, but then they don't have to like worry about this cavalry threat whatsoever, because there's no other passing along here, I believe. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's any other way to cross the river, so... And there you go, boom. The general being taken down. So let's jump ahead until this assault is ready to be pushed, and then we'll dive back in. And here we have it. The assault across the Anduin has begun. Men of the East throwing their swords and souls against the enemy for the forces of Sauron. The archers have a really nice position here because they can obviously camp in the woods, which will give them that big boost of missile resistance. However, there is a mass of archers. We have Uruk archers, Haradrim archers, and Eastlings all in this kind of defensive position, which is super nice. There's going to be a lot of arrows being thrown forward. The forces of Good also did commit a unit of Gondor militia out here, but it seems like their blood will be staining this river today. Not able to claim victory. Oh my god, it's so dark. I hate Attila sometimes. Unless you're looking at it from this angle. Like, look at it. It's just so dark and then so bright. And this is even with Thrones of Britannia lightning being brought in. I just wish it could be this the entire time. I really do. But hey, problems with the engine, I guess, unfortunately. Yeah, you can see even the back unit's just really not faring too well. And that's going to allow the rest of the infantry to be thrown forward. Again, shock infantry, full on assault here. Wait, what? Oh, they're just axe infantry. Does shock infantry have a different symbol now? No. Oh, yeah, they do. They have this type of symbol, whereas these are more of an axe. Okay, good to know. Good to know. And the cavalry has also been pretty much, has been completely dealt with up here, so they can bring the trolls back. And as you can see, more soldiers are breaking. Cavalry being sent in to kind of hammer the thin lines. And this is just a unit of Gondor Sword Militia, not going to fare well against the Servants of the Eye, up to 190 kills. It keeps on going up. Almost 200 kills on them. This would obviously be a great position to get some shots in if they could. Try and whittle down the cavalry or countercharge. But the fact that they had no cavalry left, it's really bad. Like, this would be a perfect position to countercharge down the hill at them. Gondor are committing some infantry out here. Going to try and hold the crossing rather than the camp itself. 3 more units of Gondor swords being sent out of the camp, or at least moved ready to be sent out of the camp. And you can just see the forces of evil really utilizing their numbers, throwing forward battalions of orcs and engaging their enemies. The Archer Fire nicely set up here, good cross section. And I think at this point of the battle, as you can see, the Bands of Power not looking good. Almost outnumbered 2-1 now. Their main goal should no longer be to win this battle. I think it is near impossible to achieve something like that. So now their goal should really be just to do as much damage as possible. Because again, this is a scenario battle and the casualties do carry over. Granted, a lot of the forces of evil will probably be able to replenish because it seems like they are going to win this battle. But they can't replenish units that are completely destroyed as well. I think in the previous battle, they had something like 4 or 5 units of Olokai. Now, as we can see, they only have 1 or 2. And a lot of their units are now replaced with cave trolls. So that kind of degrade of quality is a real thing. And look at this as well. The unit of Hillmen of Lemedon are doing great. Actually able to get completely stuck in on the Orc Pikes and break them. Same over on this side as well as the Prince's Coast Guard reinforces. And we still have some cavalry moving in as well. The Knights of Imrahil. These Knights of Imrahil? No, just Knights of a Silver Swan moving in and getting a good little rear charge right here onto the infantry. So they are definitely not done yet. And they have a defensive position as well. So definitely all hope is not lost. And they've been finally able to break the Servants of the Eye right there. And ammunition is running low, at least on a handful of these units. I believe also the river reduces the charge bonus by 50%. Which is always interesting. And reduces their speed by 50. Something you don't really pay too much attention to. You just assume that is the case. The actual stat-wise, you never really look at it too much. Unfortunately, though, this riverbed will be their death. Oh, the trolls, the Olokai! Shoot the trolls! Shoot the trolls! I don't think, though, it's going to be too successful. Volleys are coming in. Bring it down. Oh, we killed 1 or 2. Can we get another volley off? No, we can't. Run. Flee, you fools. Now the Olokai are stuck in here, ripping apart these poor archers who have nowhere to run. You can see them getting knocked apart. The cave trolls would also be a great kind of idea to shoot them. We've got some marines being brought up. Do these marines have any ammunition left? They do. Okay. Yeah, we're going to go for the Olokai, try and take down the armored units, which is probably the better idea with the armored units. Oh, that poor horse has got absolutely clotted. Oh my god. And the javelins coming in. This is a great way of dealing with the Olokai. They've been able to commit, and it seems like the serpent spearmen are rushing over to try and nullify this unit. They're going to be able to get 1 or 2 more volleys out. There's still 4 Olokai left remaining in that unit, which is perfect. That unit can replenish. Over on this side as well, the cave trolls pretty much completely untouched. Up to 77 kills right now. The Olokai up to 200, man. Trolls are just so good. Much like they should be. And it might not be a bad idea to bring the trolls back now, but they are fully committing them. I guess they feel so confident about winning this battle that they're like, yeah, we'll just buy some more after the battle has been won. As the trolls now commit into the Gondorian swords. As that hammer comes flying down, sending Gondorian infantry flying. The right flank, honestly, I am so impressed with the Gondor Spear Militia. They fought so admirably that they're only now breaking. They defended this position for like 10 minutes, which is more than a lot of other units on this battlefield. So big shout out to the Gondor Militia. I will never ever underestimate you guys again. You are fighting with the heart of 1,000 men. There you go on the left flank as well. So again, we're taking a nice little overview look. You can already start to see the forces of evil are starting to send a couple units around the flank here, where the openings are created. I'm not sure if they can break their way. Is this? Yeah, this is all open here as well. Yeah, so they can, if they want to, as soon as I guess this army has freed themselves up, they can commit a lot of soldiers around these tents, and I'm pretty sure you can walk over the tents as well. And that's going to completely outflank the Gondorian position, which is already starting to look a little bit shaky. The Gondorian spearmen setting up into a spear formation. And I'm already starting to think about the next battle and how, you know, how scary it's going to be. The Silver City is going to be under siege. And Dol Amroth are going to have to hold firm. But it's going to make it really exciting because in the most recent update of Rise of Mordor, the Dol Amroth capital did get a brand new settlement. So a completely custom settlement. And it's going to be great to see how the Forces of Evil plan to attack it. And if they can claim the city itself and bring Hellfire down on Gondor. If Gondor was to lose their most southern flank and their most southern, probably their strongest ally, / principality, / vassal state. Are they a vassal state of Gondor? I mean, obviously they you know, provide them everything. Manpower, infantry come to their aid. So losing Dol Amroth would be crucial. The cavalry coming out for another good charge. Here we go. This could be good. Downhill onto the Uruk archers. Yeah, able to really send them flying, killing 50, 60 of them on that charge. Also into the other archers as well. To be fair, though, a lot of these archers are out of ammunition. How many soldiers have they lost? I mean, they've lost what, 3,000 soldiers, which is honestly not too bad. Yeah, Gondor just really struggled. They had numbers, but the quality was just severely lacking, much like the scenario intended it to be. As Gondor, you know, obviously this is the remnants of the last Dol Amroth force. Most of their army is, falling back to the city, and Gondor have sent a quick relief force as best as they could. So it's understandable that they don't really have that hitting power that they would like. However, the heavy cavalry still able to find its mark. Another good charge here onto the spearmen. And this unit of Uruks are down to 86 men and are routing. Good, they managed to show up that defense. The cavalry, though, smashing their way through. The Gondor swords not big enough. And here we go. The Vargite lancers stuck in against the archers. All hope seemingly is lost for Gondor. And yeah, they just need to try and kill as much as possible. Maybe getting to 4,000 kills would be ideal. Which definitely is not out of the realms of possibilities. There's still 2,500 Gondorians left remaining. But as you can see, the left flank crumbled. And there's so much making its way around now. All these archers being brought up. There's so much left in reserve as well. This unit of 40 Serpent Warriors sent back to the rear. No longer needed in this battlefield. And there's also a lot of archers laying around as well that still have shots left. And here we go. These units of Seaward Swordsmen somehow out in the open. I don't know how they've been enveloped so badly. I imagine their time is running close. You obviously also have the shock infantry coming in as well, attacking from that front position with the spears behind. The archers being sent up as well. The Uruk Throng really just getting an easy time of it. Just shoot some arrows, sit back, enjoy the fireworks. Another volley about to be sent out here. And what makes the Uruk archers so potent is just the sheer weight of shots. As you can see, there are 190 orcs in this unit. Over a couple volleys, that is a lot of arrows going in. And you can see their main focus on the Pelargir Marines, trying to whittle them down. Every dead Pelargir Marine is one less javelin coming their way. And that definitely does wrap up over time. Some decent kills, though, on a lot of the Gondorian archers. They're going to want to obviously expend their ammunition as best as possible. And as you can see, the cavalry are acting as a rear flank right now. We'll get on board with the Knights of the Silver Swan as they feign to charge. Falling back, though, seeing just the sheer amount of infantry plowing their way through the field. This forest is teeming with orcs, and it's not just normal orcs as well. These are Uruks bred for a single purpose: to destroy the will of men. And then pikes are super scary. The attackers are not taking any chances, looking to bring this battle down bit by bit. You can see this unit of Gondor spears fully stuck in. I wonder why the lighting is so dark here. Oh my god, that is pitch black. Can you guys even see that? When you zoom out here, and it's oh, it's bright again. Maybe it's the shadow of the towers, or maybe it's the Eye of Sauron pinning down this position, and that's why they stand no chance. For the most part, though, the archers are getting some good shots in, trying to obviously take down the Serpent Guard as best as possible. But the Forces of Good really falling back, and it's only a matter of time now until these armies can come around. Gondor are refusing to give up their position. However, the trolls have been able to find their way around, smashing into the back of the Gondorian soldiers. Even with the archer fire coming in, the Olokai are just far too tanky. These positions are being completely overrun. As you can see, more and more soldiers being sent to the bottom of the Anduin. And even though these spear positions are holding, the right flank is holding, every other position is absolutely collapsing. And as you can see, if we go to this tab as well, the cavalry coming around, just trying to, again, kill as much as possible for the next battle. You know, not a bad idea. How many kills are they up to now? If we go back onto normal speed, you can see, yeah, able to get down to that 6,000. They might be able to get down to 5,500, which isn't bad. Basically taking the enemy force down to half. Obviously, they'll receive reinforcements from Sauron. They'll receive more money, reinforcements to kind of supplement their destroyed units, which will be, you know, a big help. Obviously, they've got a big task ahead of them, taking the Swan City, but still able to really bring down Gondor and, yeah, definitely extract what they needed to from this engagement. And right now we just have a handful of units scattered around here. Some archers who no longer have ammunition being engaged upon by the Haradrim and Eastling armies. Over on this side, pikes being brought up, the infantry trying their best. Any kills on them is great. And 73 kills on the unit of Seaward Swordsmen is decent. Gondor spears up to 31. Pelagian Marines 32. Yeah, it's a real shame on them. Obviously, though, their main target was probably on killing the trolls, so you can't always class that. And yeah, the Princess Coast Guard being forced out, basically realizing the battle is pretty much over. So let's just head out and try our best. We have some cavalry, though, which are going to be, again, coming in and just supporting as best as they can. Chargers and archers will be great, just to kind of rack up a few more kills. But there is just so much left in reserve for them. And even though they do get a good charge off, the river will be reducing their charge bonus, so not going to be anywhere nearly as effective. And there's, you know, there's just Uruk spears sitting in the back line across the Anduin, ready to reinforce. And you can see another cavalry charge coming in here, once again hitting away into the back of the Gondorians. Able to whittle their numbers down, and that morale, you can already start to see going from shocked to shaken. I mean, I imagine soon to being routed. With only 3 minutes left, we can basically triple speed through this now. So how many kills do they get in the end? Again, we have to go on normal speed to see that. So 5,500. Yeah, that's probably exactly what we said they should be aiming for. So knock down the enemy force down to half. Pretty admirable. Considering what they had, a lot of weaker units, they were really no match. The only way they could have maybe have won that is if Gondor could have come in a little bit earlier. And they were able to maybe hold them at the river a little bit more effectively. But yeah, their staggered defense, with the lack of soldiers, struggled. Yeah, they were always going to struggle. But I think they killed a couple of units of trolls, which is nice. So hopefully the attackers will have to rebuild them from scratch, which will be great. And there we have it. The battle is over. Gondor are not going to make it to the next battle. That is crazy. The Silver City, or the Swan City, will have to hold by itself with no hope from Gondor. Maybe, though, the beacons will be lit. And then, you know, reinforcements could arrive. And if we take a look at the kills, my god, the Haradrim, just normal Haradrim swordsmen with over 200 kills. That is really impressive on them. The Orcs, again, 200 kills and some Uruk Throng. The Trolls doing great, 200 kills, 169. Nice. The Eastlings doing decent, as well as the other Orc army as well. 300 kills on the Nazgul. Very, very impressive indeed. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this battle. If you're looking forward to the next scenario battle, make sure you go ahead and drop a like and a comment down below. Obviously, check out the previous battle if you haven't already. I'll leave a playlist link down below as well. I'll see you guys in the next one.